Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's continue our game of You and Me and Her, a love story on PC. Aoi's voice is so firm he can't argue.
わかりました。何があったのかわからないですけど、葵先輩の言葉に従うしかできないですけど、でも先に私、葵先輩が好きです。大好きです。葵先輩がすすき先輩を好きなのも知ってます。私と一緒にいる時もずっと心がすすき先輩のところにあるのも分かってました。でもそれでもいいです。それが葵先輩のためなら、それで葵先輩が満足するならお願いします。はるちゃん。
The floor creaks. Aoi steps forward slowly, weightlessly, like she's fading away.
泣かないの。葵が気持ちよく。お願いします。
The door shuts. Silence falls. Lying there in the dark living room, I open my eyes. I can't possibly sleep. Eru? When did you get here? I seem to recall shutting him upstairs in my bedroom so Miyuki wouldn't have an allergy attack during my birthday party. Did he escape when Aoi opened the door? It almost feels like he teleported here. He meows sweetly at me. I pick him up and close my eyes, cradling his warmth in my arms. God is real. I can't believe it. But I believe her. I must have a bad case of gamer brain. I love Aoi. But Aoi is a romance option in a video game. She needs to be romanced or she'll disappear. So I called Ryojiru and told Aoi to be with him. It was my only option. I have no other choice. Time to just pass out. Maybe I can fall asleep and forget everything. No. I get up from the couch. Then, as if drawn by some force outside of me, I leave the living room. I have to do this to stay with Aoi. I have to do this for my future. In my head, I understand this. But it isn't that cut and dry. I mean, Aoi is with another man at this moment. I can't take it. The mere thought makes my sense of reason fly out the window. Dark jealousy swirls in my chest. I never should have agreed to this. I know it's pathetic, but I can't change who I am. Urged on by some latent impulse, I climb the stairs. As I draw closer, my emotions start to boil over. I know that she needs to be with him to exist, but I can't bear the thought of her with him alone. There's only one thing to do. I slowly, quietly turn the doorknob. Afterward. Okay, so let me take a little bit of time to explain the scene that was cut. It's an NTR scene, of course. So this is a satire on NTR games. So naturally, it's going to have a really bizarre NTR scene. I mean, basically, you walk in on Aoi and Ryojiru, and instead of getting mad and throwing them out, you join them. So you end up with a new CG or at least technically Aoi ends up with a new CG with all three of you. There's kind of a lot that goes on in between the scene. Again, I wish there was some way they could have done this where you would have been able to, you know, get the experience of the scene, and all the banter that goes on between each other, and like the, like kind of the depth of depravity that he has to endure in order to be with Aioi. But yeah, I'll just tell you now. I mean, he really digs into his depths because he wants to choose her route. But to choose her route means that he has to sacrifice what he thinks of as a normal relationship. So that's really kind of the gist of it, and that's why it's important to at least talk about it, so that you understand, the bond that he's trying to form with Aioi and what he's willing to do. Anyway, back to the game.
ビリビリいっぱい
I lie in bed with Aioi in my arms and think about what just happened. When I walked in on Aioi and Ryojiro, Aioi was crying. Tears were streaming down her face, as though the weight of the world were crushing her. She didn't want to betray me. She had to. That was why she had been meeting with Ryojiro behind my back. She was doing it to be with me. She loved me so much, she was willing to force herself to be with other guys and bear the burden of all the guilt alone. She loved me so much, she pushed Ryojiro away at the last minute. A memory flashed through my mind, Aioi praying to God just before she left the house on the day of the performance. I was so overcome with love and despair and misery, I couldn't take it. I pushed Ryojiro aside, taking his place. Aioi and I reconfirmed our love for each other, but it wasn't enough. She still had to be with Ryojiro to survive. So even though it made my blood boil, I let them be together. And I stayed with them, right up to the end. I was happy just to be with Aioi. So happy it scared me. Afterwards, Ryojiro left, and now, here we are.
Shinichi.
Don't worry, I'm right here. I whisper back as she mumbles, half asleep.
ねる今度またデートするのヘアピンつけるの
She clenches her fist. Inside the kitty hairpin, etched with all her happiest memories. Yeah, that sounds nice. This time, I'd like to go on a really cheesy romantic date.
約束なの
Okay, I promise. She might not remember this in the morning, but I'm going to make sure I keep this promise anyway. Thinking back, it's kind of funny. Why would a jealous bastard like me, a guy who never once believed in her little world, suddenly decide to forgive her? Why would I invite Ryojiro back over just to win her back? Fate. People can't control their fate. That must be what urged me to do it. At least I can't think of anything else. Fate must have brought me and Aioi together, huh?
違う
Hmm? Am I hearing things? I thought I heard a voice from somewhere. Just then, I heard a thumping sound underneath the bed. And the next thing I know... Uh-oh. Miyuki appears, her eyes red from crying, her expression startlingly blank.
裏切ったわね
What?
待ってなさい下から取ってくるから
With that, Miyuki leaves the room. What the heck was that about?
しんいちどこ行くの
Aioi latches onto me drowsily. Oh, nowhere. Miyuki just...
みゆきしんいちはみゆき好きなのやっぱり葵嫌いなの捨てるの
Of course not. With a little reassurance, Ayoi smiles, her mind still halfway in dreamland.
みゆきは大切な親友なの。でもお願い、今は忘れて眠るの。まだ
Ayoi starts snoring, her arm still wrapped around mine. Now I get it. This isn't reality. This is just a dream. I must have been dreaming. What the heck? That sounded like Edo just now. Ayoi is still sleeping like a baby. I try to get up, but she won't let go of my arm. I gently pull away, trying not to wake her. Then I hear the sound of footsteps approaching. If Miyuki was under my bed just now, how long was she there? She must have been under there since before I came upstairs, which means she must have been under there since before the Yojiro arrived. That means the three of us were together, inches away from her. What the? In her arms is my birthday bouquet. A long, bloody scratch extends across her cheek. Where's Edu?
残念だったわ。
She smiles like she's got a few screws loose. The bouquet falls away like a fragrant sheath. Inside is a blood-stained metal bat.
私の邪魔をするんだもの。あんなに可愛いけれど仕方がないわよね。
What the fuck did you do to Eru?
ルル、
My shout wakes Ayoi.
エルがどうしたの？今合わせてあげる。え？
Ayoi's head splits open. Splits open? Everything is red. Nothing feels real. Miyuki's smile floats up behind my eyelids, the look on her face just before she swung that bat. Miyuki swung her bat and hit Ayoi. Blood trickles down my forehead and into my eyes.
ねえ、新一。私からのプレゼント、まだだったよね。あげる。
What are you doing? Stop! An indescribable sensation overwhelms my whole face. I collapse on top of the bed, pinned down, my vision nothing but crimson. Stop! What are you...
Happy birthday to you.
That was weird. What the heck was that sound? No, God. Is she hitting Ayoi again? Stop! Don't hurt her! I reach out to stop her. What the... My right arm won't move.
Happy birthday to you.
Ugh. I feel an impact on my left side. Now my left arm won't move either. Oh, I get it.
Happy birthday, dear Shinichi.
My right leg.
Happy birthday to you.
My left leg. Ugh.
何が起こったかわからない？目が見えない上に痛すぎて感覚が消えてるのね。私が殴ったのは、新一？あなたよ。
Of course it was. My legs. No. All 4 of my limbs are broken now. Why are you doing this?
葵は死んじゃったから。死体を殴っても意味ないし。
My hands won't move. I can't even wipe the blood from my eyes.
見たい？見たいの？あなたの目で。こんなにグロい画像を見せたら倫理審査で弾かれちゃうかもね。モザイクかかっちゃうわ。あれ？この世界、ゲームじゃなかったんだったかしら。
What the fuck are you talking about? Every nerve in my body is screaming with adrenaline and raw emotion. Bit by bit, tears well in my eyes, then roll down my cheeks, clearing my vision ever so slightly. There, I can see something that used to be Aioi. The blood soaks deep into my mattress. What is happening? What the actual fuck is happening? You're insane.
私、おかしいわよ。正常でこんなことができたら逆に変よね。
Miyuki's expression reminds me of the way Aioi used to look back when we first met her. Her gaze is pointed at me, but she's not really seeing me. Instead, it's like she's looking at some other distant world.
あなたがバッティングセンターに私を置き去りにして屋上で葵とセックスしてたって知ったとき、本当ならその時すでにおかしくなってたのかもね。永遠の愛を誓った相手に裏切られる苦痛、あなたにもわかるんだったかしら。
She's talking like I cheated on her with Aioi. Don't be ridiculous. Sure, I knew she had feelings for me, but that's why I was always so careful to keep my distance.
私は考え直したの。葵には大きな隠し事がある。あなただって悪意があったわけじゃない。だからもう一度だけチャンスをあげようって。
For what?
私が噂を流したりコンビニにあなたを連れて行ったりしなかったらきっとあなたは気づかなかったでしょ。葵が他の男とセックスをしてること。
Thinking back, she's right. Miyuki was always the one who put these doubts in my head.
マンションで浮気の証拠をつかんであなたが復讐の決意を固めたとき、私は天にも昇る気持ちだったわ。復讐計画、私が随分手助けしたわよね。今日の誕生日パーティーは今までのどんな舞台よりも喜びを押し隠すのが難しかった。せっかくだから二人の破局の瞬間までこの目で見たいのは当然よね。階段の脇でずっと成り行きに聞き耳立ててた。葵がリビングを出た時は焦ったわ。すぐに階段を上がってベッドの下に隠れて。龍次郎と葵がセックスを始めた時はさすがにびっくりしたけど、天にも昇る気持ちだったわね。これで新一は葵に愛想を尽かした。念願かなって私たちはやっと結ばれる。あなたがこの部屋にやってくるまではそう思ってた。ねえ、想像できる？ベッドの下の私がどんなことを考えてたか。愛する人がすぐ何センチか上で他の女の性器に口つけて他の男の精液吸い取ってるのよ。私は何もできないの。ただ黙ってベッドの下で祈るだけなの。私は新一を信じてる。だからあなたは最後の最後で私を選ぶ。やめて！ 願いは届かないわ。それじゃあ何？私って一体何なの？ついさっきまでやっとあなたと結ばれるって息を殺して喜びの涙を流してた私は一体何なの？永遠の愛を誓い合った人が私の真上で裏切ってるの。これでおかしくならないでいられる？ねえ！
My body refuses to move at all, and no one's coming to save me. I can't think of any way to get out of this. I look back at Aoi's lifeless body. I don't know what to do. I don't understand. Why? Why are you doing this to me?
私との愛の誓いを破った裏切り者だもの。当然でしょ？
I'm telling you, I never betrayed you.
私はね、あなたに言ってるんじゃないわ。君に言ってるんだよ。最初のルートで私に永遠の愛を誓った君に。
This game. Yes, so when she says you, she is referring to us, the player.
新一じゃ絶対に選べなかった選択肢を選んだ君に。
Miyuki, who are you talking to?
ねえ、君は覚えてるでしょ？演劇が終わった後、こぼれ落ちそうな満天の星のもと、永遠の愛を誓ったあのキス。
What's the matter with her? I can't understand a single thing she's saying.
君はね、ずっとずっと永遠に私のルートに入る選択肢だけを選んでいればよかったの。それが永遠の愛を誓った君の務めでしょ？私がどれだけ青いルートを阻止しようとしたか、君ならわかるわよね。なのにどうして私の気持ちに応えてくれないの？言ってよ！ねえ、私が誰より好きだって！
Alright, so you can pick I love you or I hate you. It actually doesn't matter which one you pick. So let's pick I hate you. I hate you. The words leave my lips in a mumble. After everything you've done, you want me to love you?
それはあなたの答えよね。君はそうは思ってない。どうせデータをロードし直してまたやり直せばいいとか思ってるんでしょ？君は私を裏切った。これからたっぷり復讐してあげる。
Miyuki. She gently sets the tip of her bat right on my scrotum. I feel myself flinch.
あなたがただのアバターだっていうのは分かってるけど、感情が納得しないの。だから、バイバイ。
Wait! Please wait!
大丈夫。またやり直せばいいんだから。
Miyuki looks at me, almost bored.
バグは潰しちゃいましょ。
Miyuki, stop!
もしもし、神様？私の記憶をセーブして、そろそろ始めましょう。私がスマホで改造したゲーム。 君と彼女と彼女の恋のアップデートをね。ハッピーバースデー。
So this is where I think a lot of players who have played Doki Doki first may see some similarities in that this is really obviously not a romance. This is a horror game. So and you know, something similar in Doki Doki happens. But again, this game came out first. Life is like a staircase. You just gotta keep climbing. Otherwise, if you start to overthink it, you'll have trouble making the next step. See, they even changed the text and the color and everything. Or the font. There are no branching paths. No point in regretting the actions you didn't take. They say life is a series of choices, but that's nonsense cooked up by the old and bitter. Yesterday leads to today, and today leads to tomorrow. One step at a time. What lies ahead? You won't know until you get there. At the top of the staircase, I step outside into the dazzling sunset. This is the school roof. Most students are barred entry. You'd think I'd be used to the view from up here, but evidently a few hours difference is all it takes to make the world look brand new. Yutaru, where are you up here? No response. The peaceful autumn breeze is all that greets me. Grass has sprouted between the cracks in the concrete, and the pile of desks on the far side are rusting from exposure to the elements. Up here, it almost feels like a forgotten place lost to time. I love it. Specifically, I love the 360-degree view of the town below. I lived my whole life here. Every inch of this town is packed with nostalgic memories. The longer I look out, the calmer I feel. When they randomly voted me onto the campus cleanup committee, I wasn't exactly eager. But if I'd known about this little side perk sooner, maybe I would have volunteered for the job. Roof access is only granted to 2 groups. The Astronomy Club for stargazing, and the cleanup committee to haul desks in and out. That said, I'm told there are plenty of spare keys floating around if you know where to look. The school roof has a certain legend attached to it, you see. As a result, every now and then, other students will ask me to unlock the door for them, which is why I'm up here today, at the behest of my friend, Yutaru. Unfortunately, he seems to be running late. I look down. There's a cell phone lying face down on the ground by the door. Whose is this? Alright, so let's check the call history. Before I can check the call history...
私のよ。
The door opens. It's Miyuki. Really? I didn't know you had a smartphone. I thought you had one of those old clamshell phones.
そっちはあなたの家で拾ったの。
What? You did?
忘れちゃったかな。もうずいぶん前の話だもんね。でもそれ、全然趣味に合わないでしょ。だから、機種変更したの。
She takes a shiny new smartphone out of her pocket. It's the latest model with a much bigger screen.
SIM カードさえ抜き取っちゃえば、古いのは不要。それ、投げ捨ててもらえる？
What? Throw it off the roof?
そう。ここから街に。
Well, let's not do that. What are you talking about? Just trade it in at a store somewhere.
一刻も早くなくしたいの。
Don't be... Hey, wait! She takes the phone from my hand
それ！
and flings it over the safety fence. Oh, man. The phone spins through the air. It flies up in a perfectly straight, gravity-defying line until eventually it vanishes from sight.
ずいぶん飛んだわね。
Yeah. At that speed, I almost thought it might shatter the fabric of the universe.
じゃあ、帰りましょう。
But Yutaro said,
断るわ。あけぼのくんが呼び出したの、私だから。
oh, I see.
まだ、クラスのみんなには言ってないもんね。
Miyuki looks at the floor bashfully.
私たちが付き合って、同棲してること。もう、2週間にもなるのにね。
We'll have to tell them eventually, I guess.
新一の恋人にふさわしくなれてるか、心配だわ。
I'll say, you are. Of course you are. You're plenty good enough.
本当にそう思ってくれてる？
Of course.
うん。ありがとう。ねえ、新一。起きてよ。起きてってば。
What the? Where am I? The next thing I know, I find myself lying in the middle of a living room floor. Miyuki's phone is sitting on the table with the game still launched.
ご飯食べてすぐ寝ると太るわよ。寝るならベッドで寝てちょうだい。
Oh, right, sorry. I collapse onto the bed and my consciousness rapidly fades.
新一、聞こえる？聞こえないわよね。あなたはもう眠っているはずだもの。でも、君は聞いてる。そうでしょ？セーブデータは使えない。プロローグも少し違ってた？最初から会えない人もいたんじゃないかしら。それは、私が分岐の処理をいじったからなの。君には罰を受けてもらわないとね。おはよう。
Miyuki greets me as she cooks our breakfast.
今日はどうしようかしら。そうね。まずはあなたをテストさせてほしいの。
Test me how?
私ね、嘘をつかれるのが嫌いなの。だから、あなたの本当の気持ち、聞きたいなって。ねえ、新一、あなた、私が好きよね。好きだったら、私に永遠に好きって言い続けられるわよね。
And we'll say, no. No, I can't.
ねえ、そんなこと言わないで。拒否してもいいことなんてないの。考え直して。私に好きって言い続けられるよね。逃げるの？抵抗なんて無駄よ。
All right. So at this point in time, you're going to have to be a little insistent with Miyuki. So depending on how long you skip and how long you're insistent on giving her no for an answer, this will go on forever. Well, actually, this will go on for a long time. But depending on the number of times you skip, you'll get a different answer and possibly break out of the loop of the game. Now, if you don't do this, then you're going to basically be stuck here. Your save game won't exist anymore, of course, and whenever you start a new game, you'll be playing Miyuki's special version of the game. So we need, basically, we basically need to let like 800 seconds pass. Once we do that, then we can get like a little bit of an Easter egg for some audio, and then we can exit the game, and we can do some other choices to try to break out of Miyuki's trap. Again, you don't necessarily need to do this part, but it'll help with trying to exit her game trap. You do have to do this for some number of minutes, though. So, but you don't have to necessarily wait 100 seconds. I think the minimum time that you need to wait is 15 seconds. I think somewhere around there, 15, 20 seconds. So yeah, it the game waited until the very, very end on the second route to sort of pull this on you, and I think it's pretty clever. I don't know if the art style has something to do with some hints of why this is not really a love story and that this is actually a horror game, because it is very unique. Like the big. The really, really big eyes are kind of a throwback to some other famous horror visual novels, and some of the older style of anime, like back in the 80s when the eyes used to be like really, really big. So I think that's the idea behind this. And again, if we exit this and we try to modify the game at all, then we'll still play her version of this game. I can imagine most people like looking at this for the first time and kind of being frustrated. And I think this is where a lot of players would stop. Unless they were like specifically looking up a route guide. I know when I first played this, I wasn't sure how long I needed to turn the skip, or that I could even skip initially. I was clicking through this choice over and over again, and I didn't know that there was a number that you had to trigger. But basically, if you turn on the skip, then every 4 seconds you have 10 I love yous. Right, so you're answering her 10 times in 4 seconds with the skip on. So you basically need like I don't know, like 8 or 9,000 times of you trying to refuse her. Like I said, Miyuki's really stubborn. So it's not just a matter of just a couple of seconds and then you can move on to the next part of the game. The game definitely throws you for a loop. And unless you know this, then you may end up with an infinite loop where we're going to start at the beginning and then come back to this question again. So I think what the game really wants you to do is to keep trying this longer and longer, until you get past the point where you can break out of the game, or at least break out of Miyuki's route. Her death route. And I said, I think this is why it doesn't really do justice to this game to play the family version. I mean, I think the family version, you get the basic plot points, but a lot happens in the adult scenes in this game. And that's why the choices that you make are so, like, they're much more emotionally impactful, having witnessed the adult scenes. And I think if you're not used to the NTR, like if it's something that you really don't enjoy, then that's part of the reason why the NTR is so, like, it's so graphic, right? Because, you know, when you're in that threesome with Aioi, you know, I mean, yeah, you do things that you know, you wouldn't normally do. Even with an NTR game. So, you know, just having that, you know, that sort of shocking number of actions, I think that really adds to the game, and also adds to the horror of the game when you find out Miyuki is crazy. um, Again, I'm really just I'm talking you through this because I think it's something that yeah, I think you really need to experience for yourself. You know, and you can get the patch for free to have the adult scenes. Normally, you know, if you're kind of a prudish and you don't like the adult scenes, you know, I totally understand, and that's why family versions of these games exist. You know, that's why the default version is the family version. But you know, this is one of the few cases where I really don't think, you know, I don't think skipping the adult scenes does you a you know, I think it does you a disservice. You know, versus some other games like a Nekopata, you know, you could, you know, easily skip all those adult scenes, and I don't think it takes away from the story or the relationships in Nekopata, you know, because they really do feel like they just took adult scenes and just inserted it into the game, and when you pull them out, you know, they're perfectly fine without them. But this game, I think you really need them. Unfortunately, because of the nature of these NTR scenes, most streaming services, even adult streaming services, which is it's kind of funny to think, you know, they'll do heavy censoring or require heavy censoring. Like I was playing this originally on PH, and once we got to this scene, you know, they refused to broadcast it. So. Mainly because there's you know, there's some violence, you know, there's some implied violence that goes on. Obviously, they don't really show any of the violence. Even in the adult version, there's no CGs of the bloodshed. I mean, basically the bloodshed happens exactly the way it does in this family version. You know, things kind of blurred out and they're not very clear, but you know, you get some descriptions of what happens. And, you know, obviously that's a no-no if you're looking for like real adult material. You don't really want to mix those two. Really, because they've sort of proven in studies that the mixing of the violence and sex, specifically in you know, adult content and porn, it does sort of trigger it just sort of trigger a morality loop in the viewer. Where they sort of lessen the impact of the violence and the sex. You know, much like they say, if you watch a lot of horror movies, you know, you're not really affected by the you know, the special effects, and you kind of see them as special effects. You know, same thing with violent porn. That's why you know, the industry in general, as a whole, agreed not to have that kind of porn be produced anymore. It used to be, you know, in the 70s and 80s that, well, it wasn't common, you know, that, you know, you would get that kind of porn produced, you know, on a much smaller scale, but, you know, now producers, you know, they won't touch that, really, because they know the effects that it has on even normal people. Now, whether you can correlate that, you know, that violence and that sex to what people really do, you know, that is harder to say, but, you know, just seeing that their actions and their attitudes towards, you know, violence and sex change dramatically just by viewing that kind of content. You know, I think it was probably a better decision to go with, you know, with well, we'd rather not have you be, you know, we'd rather not have that kind of violence, you know, be lessened in your morality scale. You know, we still want you to be abhorrent to it, that you still should not want it. And if you're mixing this fantasy porn with that kind of, you know, with that kind of violence, then you know, it's just not good for the industry as a whole and for humanity. So, which is strange. You wouldn't think that the porn industry would make that decision, but that was very much self-regulated. That wasn't a government entity stepping in. Although they probably would have, had enough time gone through. But that's why you don't generally see that kind of content. It's really because they've had some really good studies about it, and again, it doesn't prove that you would go out and commit a violent sexual crime, but it does mean if you watch enough of it that you find it more acceptable that it happens, right? Or again, you don't feel it's as big of a deal if you're watching it with your porn. And porn is a very strange thing. It definitely triggers a certain part of your brain that that influences a lot of your life and your viewpoint. So if you're getting exposed to a lot of that kind of that kind of stimulus, the violence and the sex at the same time, that really changes your mindset and changes the way you think, much more so than if you're watching a violent movie where there's no sexual drive involved at all. I mean, we like to think that we're better than that and that those kind of things don't affect us, but really, it's just part of the way the brain works. And if you're part of the crowd that isn't affected by, then you're actually the exception. Most people are deeply affected by, the kinds of sexual stimulus they have, and their attitudes over how they view, their sexual partners, and really their overall arching attitude towards, sex and their sexual partners. So fascinating stuff. Look into it sometime. It's actually pretty eye-opening.
お願い、やめて。もう私のこと受け入れて。
Okay, so she only registered 100 times.
「拒否してもいいことなんてないの。私に好きって言い続けられるよね。ねえ、拒否し、お願い、やめて。もう私のこと受け入れて。
Alright, so let's exit the game. Again, it's a little bit of a hint. It's like, oh wait, she did tell us that we could do something to bring her back. Hopefully, you folks wrote down that number in your playthrough, because we'll need it back.
おはよう。今日はまずはあなたの本当ね、好きだったら私に永遠に好きって言い続けられるわよね。
Again, we're gonna hit no. No, I can't.
ねえ、そんなこと言わないで。お願い、やめて。もう私のこと受け入れて。
And this is our backlog, so...
お願い。 お願い、やめて。お願い、やめて。もう私のこと受け入れて。
Okay, now I gotta remember how we actually get back to that other part of the game.
ねえ、私に、お願い、やめて。もう私のこと受け入れて。
Yeah, I think we had to exit, and then I think we had to answer differently. I know, this part is tricky because I don't think it's well documented on how to do this exactly.
おはよう。今日はまず、あなたの、ね、好きだったら、私に永遠に好きって言い続けられるわよね。
I think we can say yes here?
おかしいわね。前は、絶対言い続けられないって言ったわ。
I'll retrace my memories. Weird. I can't remember ever saying no to her.
ああ、あなたじゃないわ。あの時のあなたとはデートが違うものね。
What file?
ねえ、君。私は全てを知ってるの。別ルートの記憶も。前のデータのバックログも。これから起こる出来事も。
Miyuki looks at me as she whispers, but it's like she's not really seeing me at all.
この世界では、私と結ばれる未来しかないのよ。諦めて。そしてそれを、喜んで。ねえ、しんいち。起きてよ。起きてってば。セーブもロードもできないわよ。そういう風にゲームを書き換えたの。おはよう。今日はどうしようかしら。
I think we say, please give Ayoi back. Please give Ayoi back.
そんなに葵と会いたいんだ。
Yes, please. I'm begging you.
しょうがないわね。じゃあ、後で会わせてあげるから。
Really?
嘘なんてつかないわよ。とりあえず、朝ごはんちゃんと食べなさい。
She admonishes me gently, and I do as she suggests.
しんち、起きたのにゃ？
What are you doing? What's with the, get up?
猫耳なのにゃ？
Yeah, why are you wearing them?
萌えなのにゃ。
I mean, yes, it is cute.
イベント CG、ゲットなのにゃ。
Behind her, I can see something bobbing up and down. Is that a tail? I reach out and grab it.
ダメなのにゃ。猫の尻尾を触るのはマナー違反なの。にゃ 楽しかった？
Whoa. I hear a sudden voice behind me and nearly jump out of my skin. Don't scare me like that.
何よその言い方。葵と会いたいって言うから、せっかく私のスマホ貸してあげたのに。
Yeah.
まあいいわ。今日は追求しないであげる。でも、これで分かったでしょ？葵は、ただのゲームのヒロイン。現実には存在しない。
Where did that come from? Well, yeah, obviously.
ええ、そうよね。君のこと、信じてるわ。
She smiles and pats my shoulder.
ねえ、新一。起きてよ。起きてってば。寝るならベッドで寝てちょうだい。ねえ、君。今、苛立っているかしら？葵はゲームの存在じゃないって。葵は現実に存在するって。誰かさんがその世界を歪めてしまったんだって。君は信じられる？ゲームの登場キャラクターにも本気の恋ができる。信じられるわよね。あんな選択肢を選んだんだものね。私もね、信じてるの。私を本気で好きになってくれるって。好きになってくれるわよね。おはよう。今日はどうしようかしら。
Oh, God. I think we load our memories. I think, yeah, let's try this.
無駄よ、無駄。選択するのは私なんだから。うん。そうね。今日のイベントは。
Yuki bites back a smile as she speaks. Meanwhile, I pick up my bowl of miso soup. Delicious.
遠慮はいらないわ。私のセーブデータ、好きなように使って。ああ、君のデータは消しちゃったわよ。
Alright, let's go to the study session. Yes. Yuki and I sit across from each other. Between us, our notebooks lay open. We're busy working on our homework.
ねえ、新一、ここ。
Oh, that one? Upon first glance, Miyuki appears to have mastered every school subject, but in truth, she has one weakness, chemistry. So I'm helping her out. For this one, this goes in here, and then you substitute that.
あ、そうか。
I've always been a pretty good teacher. With my guidance, Miyuki solves the problem in a flash. Scritch, scritch. Our pens fly over the paper. I can feel her breath from across the table.
このまま時間が止まったら。なんてね。つい口に出ちゃった。
Try to focus, all right?
わかってます。
She shoots me a guilty grin as her pen falls still.
もう少し集中しないとね。糖分補給、糖分補給。
So that's what she's after. As she jumps to her feet. Her phone tumbles from her pocket. Quietly peer into the dining room. Apparently she stopped by the restroom on her way to the kitchen. Seems like she'll be gone for a while. Well, Let's mess with it. It seems my curiosity's gotten the better of me. I surreptitiously take the phone and... let's go through her address book. Out of curiosity, I open her address book. What the... I must have tapped the wrong thing. Let me try again. Nope. No matter how many times I reopened it, there's only one entry. God. What is this, a burner phone for God? I mean, I know Miyuki has 2 phones, so it makes sense she'd reserve one exclusively for mobile games or for phone calls, but... Well, let's place a phone call. This God person, Miyuki's sole address book entry. Who are they, really? Their phone number is 9999-883-1174. Here, we'll take a small note of that too. Looks like a perfectly ordinary phone number to me. Out of sheer curiosity, I pressed the call button. And the line disconnects. Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Huh? I can hear a voice on the other end of the line. Hi, is that really you, God? An amalgamation? An abstract? What is this person even talking about? Sounds like the kind of nonsense Aoi babbles about in You and Me and Her. Imprisoned? The heck is this lady babbling about? She must be pretty out there if she calls herself God. Wait. Come to think of it, I seem to remember my mind getting all fuzzy every morning when I drink my miso soup. No, this is ridiculous. Yuki can't possibly be holding me prisoner. And besides, I'm pretty sure I know the difference between reality and fiction, thanks. By Aoi, you mean the character from the visual novel?
完成、アップデートを完了させ、現実世界に反映させれば、葵は虚構の存在として再定義、現実世界から消失。
Right. I don't know what else to say. How am I supposed to believe that Aoi exists in the real world?
監禁から脱出し、葵に SIM カード入りのスマートフォンを届ける。葵の協力を得て、世界をみゆきが改変する前にロールバックする。攻略法は2つ。みゆきの好感度を上昇させ、彼女の油断を誘発。徹底的に好感度を下降させ、彼女の激怒を誘発。
Look, are we done here? I'm done talking to this self-styled deity. Real talk, I don't understand a single word you...
葵は得意存在。彼女は幾度となく恋愛を経験。無数の主人公と性交渉を得た。無感動な化身だった。しかし、今回、彼女に得意な感情を認知。主体者へ、葵は恋愛感情を保持している。
She does?
原因不明、理解不可能、明白なバグ。再度の更新、記憶同期により原因究明が必要。主体者に要求。葵に SIM カードを渡し、記憶を同期。世界を元の状態に再構築せよ。
Whoa. A baseball bat slams down inches from me. I dropped the phone in my surprise.
悪い子ね。
Yuki picks up the phone and hangs up.
何をしていたの？
Nothing.
正直に言って。あなた、神様と話したのね。
We're gonna say... Nah. No.
発信履歴があるのに、どうしてそんな嘘をつくの？
Oh, right.
もしかして、神様の話信じてる？
Of course not. I never believed a load of crap like that. Telling me I can't tell reality from fiction. That Aoi is actually real.
まあ、あなたならそう答えるわよね。そう思っているなら、今回は見逃してあげるわ。けど、そうね。
Miyuki looks away and mutters to herself, her gaze fixed on something distant, on some distant world only she can see.
君がそれを知ってしまったなら、対策を考えなきゃね。ねえ、しんいち、起きてよ。起きてってば。
Alright, why don't we stop it there? This is Audapostrophe. You've been watching You and Me and Her, and now you know the you is actually referring to us, the player. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.